So I'm out here trying to test out this Piscifun Perseus. Now it's been raining a good 3 or 4 days here. As you can see, the water is chocolate milk and it's really high as compared to normal. But I've had good luck here before with muddy water. So let's see if I'll have some luck today. As you can see, I got the Perseus. It's mounted on the DAIWA TATULA rod. Take off its reel cover. I got 12-pound, I believe it's fluoro clear on here. So let's see if there's any fish. This is connected to a main river that's probably flowing really fast. So I'm counting on a lot of fish to be in here to get out of that flow. So I'm going to set the inside brakes centrifugal. I'm going to put 4 on. So it's 1, 2. There's actually already 4 on. So, and the outside brake, I'm going to set it to maximum and just work my way down. All right, I'm using a chatterbait, which I've had luck with in muddy water. And let's see how this thing casts. So the retrieve is pretty smooth. This long handle gives me a lot of leverage. I mean, this is not the heaviest resistance bait, but it does provide some resistance. Okay, I had a blow up there. And the casting is really loud. I don't know if you could hear that. Okay, so 4 brakes on with the overhead cast, and the magnetic brakes turn all the way to the top. Doesn't seem to be enough, so I'm going to go in and put on another centrifugal brake. Okay, I actually only had 3 brakes on inside, so that's kind of hard to find out, hard to see what brakes are activated. So there we go. So it seems to be casting well with 4 brakes on and the external dial to 10. As far as controlling the spool. So I'm going to slowly back down those magnetic brakes. Okay, let's go down a couple of clicks. It's on 10 now, so let's go to 9 and 8.5. Going down another 2 clicks. Okay, 2 more clicks. All right, we're going this way. Okay, let's see if we can find the limit of this. Go down 2 more clicks. I'll have to say, this retrieve is really solid and smooth. For a sub $50 reel, I can tell you it feels smoother than the Bass Rise. And the Bass Rise was throwing, you know, a small square bill and a topwater. Now, will it stay smooth? That's the question. That's the $50 question. Will it stay smooth after some moderate use, I should say. So distance, I'll say it's average. Turning these the magnetic brakes down, it reminds me of the Accurist in that it doesn't really make that much of a difference. So I'm thinking these brakes, you probably can't run them on magnetics alone. So these knobs are really comfortable. One of them's already been worn in, and it feels good, along with this solid retrieve. Okay, I'm going to change baits here in a minute. Okay, time to change up baits. Okay, we have switched up to a little crankbait here. I don't know the weight. It's probably around no more than 3/8 of an ounce. I don't know if it's going to load well on this rod. But it casts pretty good. Now this is not a deep diver by any means, but I can't even feel this thing wobble because the retrieve on the Piscifun is so smooth and powerful. I think it's attributed to this huge handle. It's like over 100 millimeters. Yep, that's one thing I don't like about this place is I can't really get a good backstroke to get a good cast. So, gonna have to be careful. That could have been ugly. This crankbait is not running true. Okay, so we're gonna string up a winter lure that's always been successful for me, and that is the CITICA Swing Impact Fat. But we're going to go with the generic Bass Pro Shops copy, the Speed Shad, because these are a little bit bigger. I think they're going to give off more vibration. And I want to see if they're any good compared to the CITICAs. I can tell you right now, these do not smell like CITICAs. They don't have that squiddy, fishy smell. It does not have any kind of oil on it. But maybe they'll be more durable. Alright, here we go. Hopefully this smell of this plastic doesn't turn them off. Looks good in the water. Those dudes are some brave mofos, because that river is rough right now. Yeah, I think they said to hell with that river, because they're coming back. Okay, so after spending a couple of hours on the water with the Piscifun Perseus, let's go over my thoughts. Now, let's go over the good things about this reel that I like. Now, the retrieve was surprisingly really smooth and really powerful. When cranking in that chatterbait, I could barely feel the vibrations. I think that's attributed a lot to this really long handle that gives you a lot of leverage. The knobs are really comfortable. Now, will it stay smooth? That's the $50 question there. Now, the casting, I would say that it's average, at least from that couple of hours I spent out on the water. Now, granted, where I was fishing, it was a really steep bank, so I couldn't really reach back and try to launch one out there. So for right now, I'm gonna say it's average. Now the brakes are really loud. I don't know if you could hear the screeching of the centrifugal brakes. And one thing about the brakes is they're really hard to see. I thought that I had 4 on, but I really had 3 on. So the engagement, you can't really tell unless you really look which brakes are on or off. And also the magnetic brakes are kind of weak. So I'm thinking that the centrifugal brakes are the main braking, and then this is just for fine tuning. Because if I turned all the brakes off, I don't think I'd be able to fish with just magnetic brakes. Reminds me of the Quantum in that respect. There we go. Now, as far as palming, now the best thing I can say about this is that I didn't even think about it once while I was out on the water fishing. I didn't think about, wow, this is uncomfortable, or this is, you know, super comfortable. So that's probably the best compliment you can give to a reel, is if you're out just fishing all day and you don't even notice it in your hand. So it's a thumbs up for the palming. Now, as far as everything else, of course the knobs are really comfortable, nice comfortable shape. One of them is more comfortable than the other. This one is already been worn down, so this was really nice. Now this one hasn't been worn down yet, so it's less comfortable. Now unfortunately I did not hook in any fish. Conditions were really tough out there, so I couldn't really tell you how this thing behaves when fighting a fish. Now the worst thing about the reel is the thumb bar. It's really mushy and vague. Like, it's very vague when you're pressing it to make a cast. And as you can see, there's a lot of wiggle there. So will this thumb bar hold up? Who knows? So for under 50 bucks, I think this is a great reel. What stood out to me the most was the retrieve. It was really smooth and powerful. Now I'm gonna take it out a couple more times this winter and hopefully be able to hook into something and see what that feels like. All right, guys, thanks a lot.